Hello everyone. Welcome to Dr. Rajkumar Academy for Civil Services. Let us discuss today the Hindu newspaper of Delhi edition. The first article of the day. Despite courts say OTT platforms face pressure on content. The two advisories issued by the Information and Broadcasting Ministry, that is, in February 2022, it told streaming platforms to ensure that details of a grievance officer are made publicly available on their websites. On March 24, 2023, it told platforms to exercise abundant precaution in ensuring the films and web series do not fall out of the code of ethics that is laid out in the IT rules. This is about the OTT, over the top streaming services such as Netflix and Amazon Prime Video are facing pressure to comply with the Information Technology Rules 2021. And there are restraints in terms of streaming about the mature content. So these two net alert and two advisories issued by the IB Ministry. In this particular article, we need to understand IT Rules 2021 because this article is talking about the amendment to the Information Technology Rules 2021. Let us see the importance of this particular article. Recently, the government come up with a notification in terms of IT intermediary guidelines and digital media ethics code rules 2021. We need to understand what are all the key amendments on this particular area. The key amendments of this particular IT rules. New guidelines given to the social media intermediaries. Social media intermediaries. Because currently the intermediaries are only required to inform the users about not uploading certain categories of unlawful content. These particular amendment impose a legal obligation on intermediaries to take reasonable effort to prevent users from the uploading such content. Because this particular amendment requires intermediaries respect the rights guaranteed to the user under Article 14, 19, and 21 of the Indian Constitution. So the amendment rule here added subclause 1 of Rule 3, that is 3(1)(b). This have been rationalized by removing the words name called defamatory. So, establishment of grievance appellate committees. Grievance appellate committees. This will be established to allow users to appeal against the inaction or decisions taken by intermediaries on user complaints. So, however, users will always have the right to approach courts for any remedies. Some key rules of IT 2021. What are all those key rules? We need to understand this as well based on this article. First one is about mandates social media. Mandates social media to exercise greater diligence. Because exercise greater diligence in the sense with respect to the content on their platforms. Establish the grievance officer remove unlawful and unfitting content within stipulated time frames, then ensuring the online safety and dignity of the users. Dignity of the users. Then finally, eradicating users about privacy policies. These are all the important rules comes under Information Technology Act 2021. So this particular article is stating about the two important guidelines which is provided by IB Ministry has to be followed. So the two advisories given by the IT Ministry based on the 2022 February issue. So the platform to ensure that a grievance officer detail are made publicly available on their websites. This particular article, it is stating about the importance of safety measures. Based on this, one previous year question, in India, it is legally mandatory for which of the following to report on cyber security incidents? Service providers, data centers, body corporate. Select the correct answer using the code given below. Based on the article which we discussed now, just go through this question and post your answers in the comment box. Moving towards the next topic of the day, it is related to eco-sensitive zones. We do have one important article today regarding the economic sensitive zone. Supreme Court modifies order on ESG around protected forests. It reasoned that this ESG cannot be uniform across the country and has to be protect area specific. Last year, court had ordered the 1 kilometer buffer zone for protected areas to act as a shock absorber. So the Supreme Court modified its judgment to have mandatory eco-sensitive zones of a minimum 1 kilometer around protected forest, national parks, and wildlife sanctuaries across the country. This is the exact context. And the remaining content in this particular article it is stating about the importance of judgment which given by the Supreme Court earlier. In this article, as a basic understanding that we need to know what is this eco-sensitive zone. Let us have a look of this eco-sensitive zone. What is eco-sensitive zones? The National Wildlife Action Plan 22 to 2016 of the Ministry of Environment, Forest, Climate Change stipulated the state government should declare land falling within 10 kilometers of the boundaries of national parks and wildlife sanctuaries as eco-fragile zone. That is EZS. Under the Environmental Protection Act of 1986. So while the 10-kilometer rule is implemented as a general principle, the extent of its application can vary. So areas beyond 10 kilometer can also be notified by the government. Okay, so what are the significance of this EZ? The first significance is minimizing the impact of development activities because to preserve the particular land. Minimizing the development activities because it is known as protected areas, right? So minimizing the impact of urbanization and all other development activities. Then in situ conservation. In situ conservation. So this economic sensitive zone helps in situ conservation, which deals with the conservation of an endangered species in its natural habitat. For example, the conservation of one-horned rhino of Kaziranga National Park, and also minimizing the forest depletion and man-animal conflict. So minimizing the man-animal conflict as well. Because this minimize the forest depletion and man-animal conflict, the protected areas are based on the core and buffer model of management and minimizing the negative impact of fragile ecosystem. Fragile ecosystem. The purpose of declaring these zones around a protected area is to create some kind of a shock absorber for the protected area, which is called and also act as a transition zone from areas or high protection to areas involving lesser protection. So we need to know all this major information. But some of the challenges faced and associated with this eco-sensitive zone, it is about the climate change. The climate change has generated land, water, and ecological stress on this particular zones. For example, you can take frequent forest fires, which is happening around the forest in India, and the Assam floods, which badly affecting the Kaziranga National Park and its wildlife. Apart from that, encroachment is happening. Sometimes this Protection Act 1986 and Wildlife Protection Act makes the authorities ignore forest communities' rights and impact their life and livelihood. Okay, so these are all the challenges associated with the economic zone and the information which I gave you here, which is completely related to the eco-sensitive zone. Now, the previous year question asked for the same topic. In which one of the following categories of protected areas in India are local people not allowed to collect and use the biomass? Just go through this question and give your answer in the comment box. Moving towards the next important topic of the day, which is related to the fraternity. In article, the holistic approach regarding the challenge of reviving a sense of fraternity. You know, the Constitution of India was drafted by the Constituent Assembly. This particular assembly was proposed in the year of 1934 by M.N. Roy, a pioneer of communist movement in India and advocate of radical democracy. The demand of the Indian National Congress in the year of 1935, and officially it was adopted in April 1936, presided by Jawaharlal Nehru in Lucknow Congress session, drafted the objective resolution. The proceedings of the Constituent Assembly shows the richness of ideas that characterized it. The drafting committee was presided over by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar. So, objective resolution is one of the important concepts that they are talking here. You just go through that in your Indian polity book. And regarding this fraternity, we need to understand the principle of fraternity. So, what are the challenges of reviving a sense of fraternity is the article regarding in this particular area. So you just go through this article and you will get to know about the major importance of the fraternity. But since I want to give a clarity related to the principle of fraternity. Remember, in any country, if you take the fraternity, which is completely focusing on the brotherhood, friendship, community, and cooperation. So this particular fraternity is the concept derived from the French. So fraternity, this concept derived from the French. It is about the brotherhood. So common, like sense of everybody belongs to the same family, like that. This idea of fraternity came out after the French Revolution. This French Revolution in the year of 1789 to 1799. It is a more radical and secular view that denotes a sense of solidarity and brotherhood among those who were opposed to the cruel monarchical order. This idea became the basis of modern citizenship as well. In our Indian context, this fraternity emerged during the process of anti-colonial struggle as an associated process of the nation building. While drafting committee of Indian Constitution led by Dr. B.R. Ambedkar, they started stressing on this fraternity concept as well. So, fraternity in the Constitution, particularly preamble. The preamble of the Constitution, the fraternity has to assure the dignity of the individual and unity and integrity of the nation. Article 1 of our Indian Constitution describe India as a union of states, which emphasizing the Indian union's indestructibility. Under the fundamental duty, that is Article 51A, states that it shall be the duty of every citizen of India to promote harmony and the spirit of common brotherhood amongst all the people of India, transcending religious, linguistic, and regional or sectional diversities. And the Constitution also promotes the feeling of fraternity by single citizenship system. So these areas that we are promoting the fraternity as per the constitution of our country. So in the modern times, there is lot of issues related to the violation, the ideal of the fraternity. So that this particular article is talking about the revival. What are the revival challenge? See, example, lovers who are prevented from entering into relationship because they belong to different religions, caste, or same sex. That we can easily interlink with the contemporary issues that is happening around us. And if you take the significance of this fraternity, injustice and inequality, fraternity is the necessary foundation to fight all the world's injustices, hate, and inequalities, and also social solidarity. These are all the significance, just make a note of it. The idea of fraternity is close linked to that of social solidarity, social protection and justice, social protection and justice. The collective caring promotes the idea of social protection in order to provide greater justice. Then we do have political democracy. Political democracy. Political democracy cannot last unless there lies at the base of its social democracy. So the last one significance is about the social democracy as well. So these are all the significance about the fraternity concept in the modern times. So just know about what is this fraternity and what are all the importance of this fraternity in our Indian constitution and the significance. Then go to that particular article, read it, then you will understand about what kind of challenges that we are facing in terms of implementing the fraternity, in terms of reviving it. So next article that we are going to discuss about, it is related to the triple talaq. So the concept triple talaq that we know already. So need for state action was felt in triple talaq issues centered till Supreme Court. The government has reasoned that it had to introduce a law criminalizing triple talaq as Muslim men continued the practice in spite of Supreme Court judgment declaring illegal. Supreme Court of India provided the judgment in terms of triple talaq is illegal, but there is a continuation of that process. So the government's 177-page affidavit recently filed in the top court came in response to the series of petitions which have challenged the constitutionality of the Muslim Protection of Rights on Marriage Act 2019. So this article is stating about there is an increase in terms of doing the same thing again and again after the Supreme Court declared it as a illegal. So here in this background we need to understand about this criminalizing triple talaq. See, the parliament has passed the Muslim Women Protection of Rights on Marriage Bill in the year of 2019, thereby based on this criminalizing the practice of instant triple talaq. So the Supreme Court in Shayara Bano case 2017 had declared the practice of triple talaq, talaq-e-bidat, as unconstitutional. Unconstitutional means it is illegal. The penal provisions of the bill, that is, a Muslim husband declaring instant triple talaq can be imprisoned for up to 4 years, alleged to the disappropriate for a civil offense. So, what is this triple talaq? Talaq-e-bidat. If a man belonging to the religion of Islam pronounces the talaq thrice, either orally or in the form of written from to his wife, then the divorce is considered immediate. The only way to reconcile the marriage is through the practice of nikah halal. So, which requires the woman to get married, consummate the second marriage, get divorced, observe the 3 month idat period, and return to her husband. This is the exact background information related to triple talaq. That is talaq e bidat. Now, we need to know some key features of this triple talaq bill. See, any Muslim husband who communicated talaq orally or writing may face punishment up to 3 years in jail. The punishment may be also extended to another few years as well. The Muslim man pronounces talaq to his wife. The woman and her children are entitled to receive allowances. Such an amount can be determined by the judicial magistrate of the first class. A Muslim woman entitled to the custody of her minor children, even if her husband has pronounced talaq to her. The offense is also compoundable, that is, the parties may arrive at a compromise. It's up to them to compromise as well. If a Muslim woman insists for the same and the magistrate allows certain terms and conditions which he may determine. So these are all the importance, key features of the triple talaq bill. But the issues now, divorce is a civil matter and making triple talaq a criminal offense is disproportionate to criminal jurisprudence. That is the issue. So the Supreme Court, by holding that triple talaq is unconstitutional, implied that mere utterance of talaq thrice does not result in the dissolution of marriage. Rather, it remains intact. So the government criminalized the triple talaq because this was held to be violative of Article 14, the right to equality. Just to go through this because the triple talaq is banned in more than 20 Islamic countries, including Pakistan as well. Okay, the triple talaq has led to the subjugation of Muslim women even after 72, 75 years of her independence. But this solution must come through coexistence rather than the coercion. So this is the exact context that you need to understand regarding the triple talaq as a background. Next article, it is about the one world, one earth, one health advantage health care India 2023 meet. So India's goal is to make healthcare accessible and affordable not only for our citizens but for the whole world, said Prime Minister of India. So the following inauguration of the sixth edition. Okay, sixth edition Advantage Healthcare India, that is AHCI 2023. Let us see what exactly the context of this particular article. So this particular article, it is referring about One Earth, One Health, virtually addressed by our Prime Minister. This event is going to take place 26th and 27th of April. Okay, so the national capital, it is going to happen. The Union Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, in partnership with the FICCI, that is Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industries, organizing this AHCI to encourage the export of medical services where from India and to present the nation as the new center for medical value travel. That is the intention of this particular thing. See, the purpose of this international summit, aiming to promoting the export of medical services from India. India has emerged as the major hub for the world class healthcare, major hub for world class healthcare and wellness services. And this event seeks to showcase the country's potential in the medical sector as well. With the participation of countries from multiple regions such as Africa, Middle East, CIS, SARC, and Asian, the summit aims to create opportunities in terms of healthcare collaborations as well. So between participating countries, this collaboration is going to happen. The co-branding and the participants of the summit, I told you about the FICI, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industries. The significance only we need to understand. The significance is nothing but holding this event. The immense significance as it showcases India as the new hub for medical value travel. With its world-class healthcare and wellness services, India has emerged as a prominent destination for the medical travel, attracting patients from across the globe. The summit provides a unique platform for healthcare providers from India to connect with international delegates and explore collaborations to further enhance the medical potential of the country. through reverse buyer seller meeting and scheduled B2B business to business meeting with hosted delegates from over 70 designated countries. So the event is also aimed to promote medical tourism and collaborations in the healthcare. So make sure that this particular article it is regarding the healthcare access, particularly exporting more importance of healthcare facilities from India to all the countries who is going to participate. So these are all the important topics that I find today, and one more topic is left with yes. Only half of PM JDY insurance claims settled in 2 years. So past two financial years, only 329 of the 647 claims filed for accident insurance cover provided to bank account holders under Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. So it is about the settlement of money to how many uh, you know beneficiaries. So 329 out of 640, like no, out of 647, 329 only claimed. So what is this particular yojana? Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana. See, Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana, it is a national mission for financial inclusion. National mission for financial inclusion. Last year only it was completed around 8 years of the scheme. See, this particular yojana assuring the access to financial services such banking, savings and deposit accounts, remittance, credit, insurance, pension in an affordable manner. So this particular foundation stone for people-centric economic activities, whether it is direct benefit transfer, even the COVID-19 financial assistance, even PM Kisan increased wage under, MG Narega, all life insurance. So the objective it is simple, ensuring access to financial products and services at an affordable cost. Use of technology to lower cost and widen reach as well. You can just go through this scheme and you can find more details related to the same in your website. So Pradhan Mantri Jan Dhan Yojana was the question asked by the UPSC in the year of 2015 related to what is the purpose of launching this. So it is easy answer for you, promoting financial inclusion in the country. Okay, that is the direct answer. Just go through all these topics within detail. Apart from that, other topics that where you can give focus is will start from the home page. Just give a glance or give a one reading. 10 Jawans killed in blast by Maoist in Danterwada. Okay, the security personnel, when they're returning from a counter incident operation, and a civilian driver also were killed. Their vehicle, in Danterwada of Chhattisgarh on Wednesday. This article, you just go through it. Apart from that, you can go directly to the editorial page. One editorial that we discussed related to the fraternity, and another editorial, it is important for you in terms of virtual digital assets, India's stand and may what way ahead. Apart from that, yes, the third gen web is about public good. Just go through this topic also. And regarding the ambiguities in the nuclear liability law. What are all the provisions of the Indian nuclear liability law? What does the supplier in the event of nuclear accident? Why do some provisions in the law continue to make foreign companies wary of signing deals with India? What has the government said on this particular issue? These four questions are nicely covered in this particular topic related to nuclear liability law in India. Just go through this, you will get a clear view regarding this. Shining a light on the darkness of ignorance through literary LGBTQ tales. Just read that topic as well. Apart from that, all other important topics we covered. Yes, 157 nursing colleges gets approval, and 360 Indians evacuated from Sudan reached New Delhi. Yesterday, a day before, we discussed about the Operation Kaveri. That's all about the topics that you need to cover for the day. Stay tuned. See you tomorrow. Bye bye.